Hi, this is Mike Hirschberger, and I'm here with expert Chad Ferguson, and we're just going to be talking about some new software that's on the market right now of Skype or also FaceTime, which is also quite similar.
Out of it. I'm fighting a pretty nasty flu right now. So
That's not a problem, Chad. So today we're talking about voice over IP, which is quite similar to video conferencing. Could you talk a little bit about that, Chad?
sure. So voice over IP or voice over Internet Protocol. It's essentially just software that you can use over the internet on things like your computer or smartphone, and you use it to make a phone call or do a video chat, things like that. You're probably used to software like Skype, or if you're an Apple user, probably FaceTime. Basically, it just allows you to make a phone call to someone over the internet. So
Okay, that sounds good. So, Chad, would you consider this to be counterproductive maybe instead of meeting in face to face rather than over video?
I don't think so. I think that this actually is really helpful because, for example, a lot of people right now are using FaceTime or really Skype to do things like job interviews or even work meetings instead of driving all the way to the office or even flying across the country. You can just sit down in front of your computer, maybe even at home instead of in the office, and conduct an interview with someone or do a work meeting, which saves not only gas, which is environmentally friendly, but also the time you save by not having to drive all over. I think is really beneficial.
Yeah, it's definitely beneficial for the environment, wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's a huge thing because moving forward, I think it'll become a lot more common for things like this and doing things like working from home. And being able to talk to a coworker or something will be a lot more accessible to companies that don't have maybe the money to have special technology for it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so going on, there are users out there, like I know my grandma, she's 63 years old and she just got a computer and oh God, now I get texts and Facebook notifications from her like crazy. Would you say that new software like this would be easy to use for the older community?
Yeah, I think for the most part, most of the software is pretty easy to use. Like Skype, for instance, it basically all you have to do is get the person's username, and you can just press a button when they're on your friends list, and you can call them up right away. It's not a whole lot different than using an actual phone, except you're using your of course your computer or your smartphone actually to make the call. So it's not a whole lot different. So not only is it easy to use in that way, but it's also nice because it's free. So that's another really big pro. Basic service for Skype at least is free, and if you want to do things like large group calls like that, it's like a $5 a month fee, I believe. But otherwise, like services like FaceTime are absolutely free, which is really cool. So
I also heard too that, a friend of mine, he actually doesn't even have a landline phone, and they actually pay the extra fee on Skype, and they have that directly towards their house. So now when someone actually calls them, they'll be watching TV, and all of a sudden there'll be a notification up there. You have an incoming voice call from so and so, and I think the same thing also goes for if you're video conferencing with that function as well.
yeah, absolutely. Skype is actually on televisions now. You can get home phones that also have Skype built into them. So yeah, you can use it in pretty much any place you have internet connected.
And moving into some cons maybe of Skype or FaceTime and other applications. The one thing I really notice is you don't really get up and personal with someone when you're looking at each other on a screen.
Yeah, it's true. Like I think that's one of the big negatives is that you're not with that person. Just like a phone call, though. The other big thing is that if you don't have internet service, you're kind of out of luck. So let's say the power goes out, you can't really make a voice over IP call. So that is I think the big negative.
All right, well, that concludes our interview. Thanks a lot, Chad, for coming in. I really, really, really appreciate your information on the knowledge.
No problem. Thanks for having me.